Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey here once again with another video on Superman and Lois Season 4, and wow, we have a pretty surprising video that I didn't think I'd be making, but also don't think the showrunners for Superman and Lois probably would have wanted to either be made or this news to come out. So yeah, like I'm not saying my video specifically isn't something they would want out there, but just the stuff we're going over today. But it is surprisingly, well, it is something that should surprisingly help some people's concerns about what we're getting later this season, or what's been thought to be getting, be coming our way later this season. And I think it's pretty cool. Now, I wasn't going to jump into this because I didn't see many people talking about it, and then a couple of accounts posted it, and it sort of like spread like, I don't want to say like wildfire, but it spread fairly quickly. So I thought, you know what, YOLO, let's go about it. We'll make it now because people are talking about it. But as most of us should know, hopefully by now, we have both twins, both sons, both boys on Superman and Lois, that of course being Jordan and Jonathan, now with powers. Of course, Jordan has had them since early into season 1, with Jonathan recently having his come through in episode 3, I think it was. But in the most recent episode, as I'm hoping this video comes out before episode 5, that episode probably airing later today from when this video will come out. So in episode 4, we had Jordan give Jonathan his super suit so that Jonathan, can go out there and use his powers with a disguise and hopefully not get caught or, get his identity caught out or something like that. But many were wondering, well, hold on there, Jordan, you still have your powers. What about your suit if you need to go out and do something? Well, we have a first look at the changes coming in regards to not just Jordan, but also Jonathan, and it looks pretty damn cool. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts on this. What do you give these things? Because I'll just say things now. A rating out of 10. Do you think they look good? Obviously, there's going to be a difference in regards to what we see here and how they actually look on the show, just because of, I guess, the concept of it. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, drop a like. It takes 2 seconds. So on December 4th, American time, I think it is. So what? Just over a month away, roughly, from now. There will be a book. There is being a book being released. You can actually pre-order it now on Amazon now if you want. It's called Superman: The Definitive History, where focus is sort of given to each and every part of Superman's history, from, of course, the comics to animation to live action TV to live action film and various other media, like even I guess the radio shows back in the day. And of course, within this is Superman and Lois. And as some of you might know, if you've been on Amazon and maybe bought books from there before, just skim through, with books on Amazon, they have a preview section where they show a certain amount of pages to give you an idea of the layout, I guess. And it can be like 4 pages or it can be a lot. I think with this Superman book, it's like 15, 16 pages or something like that. And one of these like 15 or 16 pages that they chose to focus on is on Superman and Lois. It's not all of it. It's just, it looks like it's maybe like the second or third page where they're talking about Superman and Lois, because it starts halfway through in regards to the stuff they're talking about down the bottom. But it does reveal a decent spoiler that we weren't 100% sure was coming our way, but it gets me very excited to see it on screen whenever that might be. We know it's going to be, we know it's coming our way, just, what episode. But this book that is coming out has interviews with the comic authors and artists and showrunners or producers and all that, to just give different perspectives on the various pieces of Superman media throughout the decades, but also how they play around with it to make their own property stand out or appreciate certain parts of Superman's history and stuff like that. I will leave a link to it in the description down below if you want to go look at it or even maybe pre-order it. But this is the specific page in question that was on the Amazon preview thing. So the left there is that, I think it was like the first look of Superman and Lois together in the Arrowverse. This is back for the Elseworlds, or was this for Crisis? Because this might not be the first one there, but I think this is the first one, because they first showed up together in Elseworlds. We'd seen Superman and Supergirl, of course, but in regards to Lois's debut in the Arrowverse, it was in Elseworlds. I think this was from Elseworlds, but it could have been a Crisis Prime Image as well. I'm not too sure, but it's from like the Arrowverse era of these two characters at the very least. So yeah, and in like the words down there, you might not be able to see it on screen, but it did have Dan Jurgens talking about it. So they asked Dan Jurgens about the show, and as I said, this is like the second page. So there's like I don't know how many pages before talking about Superman and Lois, but this isn't the start of it. So there's other stuff in this book about the show, but you can clearly tell what we're focusing in on just from seeing this, and it's not what's on the left, it's not what's on the bottom right, it's what's in the top right hand corner with 2 pieces of conceptual art. And once again, you might not be able to read what it says there now in the bottom right because it's describing what the concept art, but these are conceptual illustrations for Katrina McCarthy's costume. So Katrina McCarthy is the costume designer for these two suits, and as you can clearly see on the left we have Jordan, on the right we have Jonathan, both in distinctly different, which I think is great, Superboy suits. Now we'll have a zoomed in photo here, or like a cropped in photo, so they take up the entire screen, and I must say I think they look pretty damn cool. In regards to which one's better, I don't know. That's up to your personal thing. I'll probably have a think about it while we're talking here, and I'll give my opinion on which one I think looks the best. But I do like the fact that they're distinctly different. Now you might be wondering, okay, well they look different. The only one that looks like distinctly Superboy, or like I guess Superman or esque, if you want to put in regards to the color scheme, is probably the one on the right. So what's the inspiration for these two suits? Well, both of them either are heavily or just straight up inspired by the New 52 Superboy designs. And there was two Superboys in the New 52, which makes sense why they would focus in on that and maybe use those designs, because even when they were doing the comics then, they'd try to make these two Superboy designs distinctive, to each other, and they'd stand out and not look the same. So on the right there with Jonathan, he is based off John-El, and on the left, Jordan is based off Con-El, aka Connor Kent. Now, if we just focus on Jonathan for a second, if we bring up Jonathan's and sort of like push to the side, here is the inspiration from the New 52 suit. You can see the straight up inspiration, even when it comes down to, obviously the pants aren't red and stuff, but the overall like the black shoulder pads, and it leads into like the blue chest, and even on the arms, it has like the little gold sort of like, I don't know, bracelets would you call it, but like little lines there, like the little gold lines. But I think like having the red pants is a good way to sort of break it up, I guess, like not have it fully blue, make it different than Superman's, because if it was all blue, it would just look like Superman's suit with some like black shoulder pads and some black like gloves. It wouldn't stand out on its own too much. You want it to be its own thing, but you can definitely see the inspiration. But when you look at Jordan's, who is based off Connor Kent. Now, if you don't know, Jonathan Kent, as you'd expect in the New 52, is the biological son of Superman and Lois, but Con-El is Connor Kent, who is the clone. So there's the difference there. Now, before anyone jumps down the theory where they're going to reveal that Jordan is a clone or something, no, but I think they've done it where, okay, you give Jonathan, who is the actual son from the comics, the more, the suit, connecting to Jonathan from the comics and makes sense, and you give Jordan, who didn't exist pre-Crisis, this other like offshoot, but it doesn't really downplay his importance in it. I don't know if they're going to do anything in the show where they choose their suits, or there's a specific reason why Jonathan's looks more like, maybe more like Superman's, with the blue scheme rather than Jordan's. I don't know if they're going to go down that route. I don't think they will. But you can see the Connor Kent or Con-El suit here, which is clearly what's inspiring Jordan's, and you can see it, like the red and black scheme and stuff like that, I think is really, really cool. I don't know if, like, I know people might go, oh, red and black, are they going to go like down some evil thing? I don't think so. I'm just interested to see if they choose their own suit designs, like if they get to make it themselves, or if it's like something that's already in the Fortress of Solitude. Are these suits that are already in there? Like that could be interesting if they want to go down that route. I'm not too sure if they will, but they could. I don't know. Now, there had been a thing, I was trying to find it on my computer and I couldn't find it. So hopefully I can find it on Twitter or something, so I have a visual reference. But there was like a comic thing that was released at like the farewell party, I think it was. And it showed, like, it was just like an illustration, like a made up like comic book sort of cover. And it had Jordan and Jonathan in Superboy suits, but they weren't anything like this. It was very much like, they were different. Like, I think the suit that Jonathan, well, what Jonathan was wearing as Superboy in that illustration was just like the black t-shirt with jeans, like Connor Kent look. So I think I much prefer this one because it just looks more like what Jonathan Kent would wear in the comics. Now, of course, neither of them have a cape as well. Need to point that out. At least the conceptual designs, but I think it's better if neither of them have a cape. Let the cape be Superman's thing. Now, in regards to what episode they're going to debut in, I'm not too sure. I don't think they're going to leave it till like the last episode. I think we might get it in like episode 8, I want to say. But the thing is, this book debuts or comes out December 4th, which is the week of the Superman and Lois finale. So they could easily make it, well, the suits are in the finale. But I think if you would go to the effort to have these suits made, you'd want to use them. You'd want to use them on screen. So I'm expecting probably whenever Jordan wants to get back into it, because he's going to need, both of them are going to need an individual suit. and they're not going to make one new suit. So like say, let's say Jonathan gets the new suit and he's flying around in that cool blue suit and stuff, and Jordan's running around with the goggles and thing. Like, it'd be lame. You'd want them to have both have a new suit, or neither of them have a new suit. So I think it's probably whenever Jordan gets back into the swing of things, which I'm hoping is by episode 8, but it could even be like an episode 7 or something like that. So I don't think we'll have to wait till the finale to see them, which I think is a good thing. But in regards to which one's my favorite, I find it hard not to lean towards Jonathan. I like both of them because they have their own distinct features and stuff like that, and they aren't just like, they're not just twin suits, I guess you could say. But I think I have to say Jonathan. It's just, it might maybe because it's broken up, like it has the red and the blue, and it has like the more classic Superman or like L symbol, House of L symbol and stuff like that. So yeah, I think I lean towards Jonathan, but I think both of them are really cool. Obviously, it'll be interesting to see what it's like in live action when we see them. Hopefully they're very much like this. Obviously they can change. We've seen concept designs where, you know, they're pretty much roughly what we see in the illustrations, but there's maybe a lot of tiny changes. Like, for example, like Jonathan in the actual show might not have like the gloves, like the gauntlet things. He might not have those. So, but the rest of the suit is the same. But I think I lean towards Jonathan, but you might have a different opinion. So you might have to let me know in the comments. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. For you to be awesome, if you could drop a like and show support, let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts on this. Which one do you like the best? Do you have any issues with them? Of course, the link to this book we can pre-order if you want, or just look at the preview section and stuff like that. The link will be in the description down below. Yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.